Hi students, welcome to lecture 3 of Python programming. In our previous classes, we have seen the introduction to Python programming, why we need Python, what is the necessity of Python, why not other languages, all those things. And also installation procedure of Python programming. In this in this uh, in this unit, let us have a quick recap of what we have discussed in our previous classes. We have discussed the installation procedure of Python software and how it runs, how the procedure it runs. Then, let us see once again the syllabus where we have discussed. In the first part, we have completed introduction to Python and we have installed Python software. Now let us see the program development lifecycle of Python, how to give the input and how to display the output, and how we can give the comments to our programs and how variables are declared. Let us see it one by one. Now, so today's agenda is program development lifecycle. Let us see program development lifecycle: input, processing, output, comments, variables, and we'll perform some calculations. Okay students, let us see one by one. In program development lifecycle. Students, I think you are learning software engineering subject in this semester, isn't it? So in this software engineering subject, I think you have already heard about the software development lifecycle. How to develop a software. How you develop a software? Students, can anyone explain how to develop a software? Okay. So now I'll tell you how to develop a program. How to develop a program. So program can be developed using these six steps. Let us see one by one. So students, before going to the subject, let us take a general example where we can develop a software like thing. Okay. I think most of you know how to prepare tea. Do anyone know how to prepare tea? Yes, you know very well. How to prepare tea, students? How you prepare tea first? So what is your problem now? Your problem is to prepare the tea. Then what will we do? We will search for the requirements, isn't it? So what are the requirements that we necessary to prepare tea? Yes. So, to prepare tea, we will collect the utensil, you will collect the milk, you will collect the tea powder, and we will collect the sugar. Is that the things we need for preparing the tea? Yes. Then, later, what will you do? You will write the step-by-step procedure how to prepare the tea. Isn't it? How to prepare the tea. You will write the step-by-step procedure. So, first you want to put the utensil in the stove, and you have to pour some milk. In the second step, you have to pour some tea powder. Then you have to pour some sugar. Is that the students? Then you will write the step-by-step procedure. In the next step, what will you do? You will just prepare the tea. How you prepare the tea? You will take a utensil, put it on the stove, pour some milk into it, pour some tea powder into it, and at last you add sugar to this. Make it boil. Then what we do? We generally we check whether all the ingredients are correctly taken or not. Yes, we will check for that. Then what will happen? After that, you will give this tea to somebody else. If suppose you will give this tea to your mom, what your mother told? Your mother asked you to add some more sugar. Yes, you will add some more sugar. Then your tea is prepared. Is that the thing? So, coming to our software, the same procedure is followed in our software also. The same procedure is followed to prepare a program also. The first and foremost step in program development lifecycle is problem definition. So first you have to define the problem. Let us take a problem to solve an attendance system of our department. How will you solve this problem? First you will note down the problem. I have to give attendance to all the students in our department each and every day. It is my problem definition. That is the first step. Then what you have to do? You have to analyze the problem. You have to give the requirements to your problem. How will you give the requirements to your problem? The requirements are, what are the requirements we need? We need the roll numbers of the students. We need the names of the students. Then we need how many sections we are having, which subject is taken by which faculty. We need the schedule, isn't it? So all those requirements are gathered in analysis part. That is the second phase of program development life cycle. That is problem analysis. The first one is problem definition. You are defining a problem. Then in the second step, you will analyze the problem. Then in the third step, what will you do? In the third step, you have to write the step-by-step procedure of solving your problem. So how will you solve this problem? You will solve this problem. First, you divide the things into sections. So we are having 3 sections for each year. So we will totally get 9 sections, isn't it? We will do how our software look like, what are the things we want. All the things will be in a particular format. The step-by-step procedure of solving that problem can be stated in the third phase. In the fourth phase, what will you do? You will code and you will implement the code. You will design. This phase is mainly meant for designing your problem. Here you design your problem. Is that clear? Now the software is ready. Then what will you do? The attendance system is ready. Then what will you do? You will test by yourself. So take an example of taking 10 students. So put attendance for each and every student and check the reports whether they are generating correctly or not. If at all they are not correctly generated, what you do? You will generally debug the code, which is nothing but you will check for errors and you will debug your code and you will correct your errors. That phase is called fifth phase. In the sixth phase, what will you do? You give this software to the college, to your department. Then department guys will ask, we need some changes here. Okay, and they will take the software and they will use for 1 or 2 months. After that, they need to have some additional requirement. Then they will ask for requirement. That phase is nothing but maintenance. So for any program or for any software, we must and should do all these 6 phases. The first phase is problem definition. The second phase is problem analysis. The third phase is algorithm development. The fourth phase is implementation and coding. The fifth phase is testing and debugging. The sixth phase is maintenance. So in this way, we generally develop our program in a program or a software. Okay, students. So this is the general thing to develop a program. Now let us see the program development life cycle of Python programming language. So before going to see the Python programming language, let us see the traditional programming language development life cycle. So in traditional development programming life cycle, what will you do? How the program runs, how the program executes. Let us see. It will start the application initially. If at all, after starting the application, it tests the behavior of the application, whether there are errors. If at all there is no errors, it will display the content. It will display the output. If at all there are errors, it will stop the application. Then what will it do? It will edit the program code. Okay. If there are no errors, it will display the result. If there are errors, it will stop the application and edit the program code. Then what will it do? It will recompile the code. Again. After that, it will relink the code. Is that clear, students? It will recompile the code. After that, it will relink the code. After that, what will happen? it will again start the application. Again, it will start the application. This is the procedure that the traditional program development cycle. It is the cycle which is followed by professional programming languages, traditional programming languages. Okay, let us see how Python programming development cycle look like. Okay, students. So, Python's development cycle. Let us see. So, start the application. Here also we'll start the application. Then we'll test the behavior. Here also you will test the behavior. Then stop the application. If there are any errors, it will stop the application. If there are no errors, it will display the output there itself. After stopping the application, what will it do? It will edit the program if at all there are any errors. If at all there are any errors, it will re-edit the program. Then it will again start the application. Here, there is no recompiling or relinking the files. Keep that in your mind. There is no recompiling and relinking the files. Is that clear, students? Next, coming to the next one. Python's development cycle with module reloading. So we can, in Python, we are also using the modules to run our programs. We will already create a module and we will use that module in our programs. Okay, how module will work? Here also, it will start the application. After starting, it tests the behavior. After testing the behavior, if at all there are any errors, it will edit the program. Otherwise, it will give the result. Here, in module, there is no question of stopping the application. We can edit while the program is running itself. We can edit the program when it is running. Clear, all of you? So, in this way, the Python development cycle with module reloading will work. Is that clear, students? Is there any doubt in this? Let us see this one in a form of small points. So, here we have already told you Python development cycle is very short than your traditional tool. Is it clear? So, there is no compilation and linking steps. And also, it is simply import its modules at runtime and use the objects they contain. And also, it is interpreted. It is an interpreted language. And then, its parser is embedded in Python environment. It is easy for modifying a program. Let us have an example for this. So, GUIs. So, majorly the Python programming languages are used for GUI programming, as you all know. Isn't it, students? Okay. Then, let us create a GUI. Let us create a web page which consisting of 7 colors. Okay. Suppose it consisting of 7 colors. So, while running the program, we doesn't like all those 7 colors. What will you do? You will just move on to the Python code and make the 7 colors as 2 colors. Okay. So, it will automatically, the web page will be edited. Automatically, the web page will be updated. We no need to re-link or recompile or re-execute our Python code. The GUI's updation will be done here immediately and automatically. There is no question of rerunning or reopening the application. If you change anything in your code, that will be inherited here also. Is that clear, students? So, that is a good advantage of Python development lifecycle. Okay, students? So, then let us see about input, processing, output. As you all know, input is nothing but taking the data whenever you need and will process some mathematical calculations or whatever the task we needed, and we will gives you the output. Is that the thing that happens, students? Yes. Let us see that. Input, processing, output. So, it is a 3-step process. Input is the data which the program receives while it is running. In the prompt, we are giving the input. Then, we'll perform some processing to it. Then what will happen? We will generate an output through the printf statement. Is clear? Is that clear, students? Yes. So input will be given to the computer, the processing will be done in the computer, and which gives you the output. So let us see how output works. So displaying output with print function. We can display the output using print function. So what does it print function specifies? It is used to print a message on the screen. Usually, the print function is used to print the message on the screen. As you all know, in C, we use printf statement, isn't it? In the same way, in Python, we use print function. Whatever the message that is there in the print statement is of type string or any object. It can be converted. We can convert it to any other object, but always the print statement consists of a string type of variable. So this is the syntax for print function. Print object, whatever the thing we give here, which is of string type. Separator, we can separate all the objects using separator, and we can end the file, we can add the file, and we can flush out all those things. We can, any unnecessary things are there, or else any data we want to flush it out, we can flush it out by using flush time. So these are the attributes that a print function consists of. Is that clear, students? So let us see the example. Print. So we can print. In our last class itself, I have told you, to print a message, we can use double quotes or we can use single quotes. So in the first statement, we have used double quotes, that is welcome to Nirula. In the second step, we use an empty string. In the third step, we use a single quotation, that is welcome to the world of Python. Welcome to the world of Python. Let us see with an example. So here, students, in our first example, what we have done? We have given two objects. One is hello. Another one is how are you. That objects can be separated by comma. There is no problem at all. Is that clear, students? So what is the output of that print function? Hello, how are you? Is that clear? Then assign some strings, some series of strings to a variable and printing that variable. Let us see the second one. That is x is equal to apple, banana, cherry. So each and everything is separated by a comma. This is a string. So how it is printed? Print x. So it is separated. All are separated. So how it will be print? It will print apple in single quotes, banana in single quotes, cherry in single quotes. Is that clear, students? Then talking about the third one. Here separator is used. 3 hyphens. We are making 3 hyphens as a separator to separate two objects. One object is hello, second object is how are you. These two objects are separated by hyphens, that is 3 hyphens. So that is the third one. So in this way, the print statement will work in Python. Is that clear, students? Now let us see how to read an input from the keyboard. As of like print function, Python is having input function to take the allow the user input from where? From prompt, from the shell. Okay. Usually whatever we give through input function is of string type. Always the input function will have string type. So input prompt. What is this? Prompt. In prompt you give what you need to print. The prompt string. We will give the string in the prompt section. Whatever you want to print, that will be given in the prompt. Let us see with an example. Okay. So let us see this example. Name is a variable which is assigned with input function. So in the console, you need to print what's your name. Then I will give some name. Of course, myself Shilpa. So what's your name? Then I'll give Shilpa. So Shilpa is assigned to the name variable. In the same way, in age, input, enter your age. What is the age of me? 34. That 34 is assigned to the age. Is that clear, students? How these name and age variable will be printed? By using print statement. Print name. In the name, what will be printed? Shilpa. Then you are printing a string with comma. You are. The string is printed. Then You have to print age. All these are concatenated. All these are concatenated, which is combined using plus symbol. We are using plus symbol to combine all those things. You are how many years old? 34 years old. Okay. Let us see the output of this. What's your name? It will be printed. Then we have to type our name. That is Jaydev. Enter your age is 8. What will be printed? Jaydev, you are 8 years old. Is that clear, students? In this way, the input function will work. As of now, I have told you, input function always takes string type of data. If you want the variable to be another type of data, then we need to convert it into our own data. That will be converted like this. If you want to convert the input string to integer type of data, int the particular variable. If you want to convert the input function string to float type of data, float that data. Is that clear, students? In this way, you will convert it into the data type. In our next lecture, I will show you so many examples regarding this. Okay? Let us see. Next, let us see comments. How will you give comments in Python? In C, how will you give the comments? We will use double slash for single line comment, and we will use slash star and star slash for multi-line comment, isn't it? But in Python, we will use hash symbol, which is ignored by Python interpreter. So, whatever the thing we give, that will be given in hash by giving hash character. So, it is a single line comment. While talking about multi-line comments, in multi-line comments, we can use hash symbol multiple times. In each line, we can insert hash symbol. Okay, that is one way of writing multi-line comments. The another way of writing multi-line comments is multi-line string, that is triple quote. If you give triple quotes for your string, then it is taken as a comment. It ignores the string literals that are not assigned to the variable if you add multi-line string, that is triple quotes. If you add triple quote to your string, then it will be taken as comment. Okay, so let us see. So this is hash, multi-line comment, hash, hash, hash. We can use hash multiple times in multi-line comments, or else we use triple quoted string. If you use triple quoted string, that will be ignored by the Python interpreter. It is used as a comment section. Is that clear, students? Comments, hash and triple quotes, or we can use hash in the multiple statements. Clear? Now, let us see a very important thing of all programming languages, that is variables. Okay, so what is a variable? It is a name or location to store the value. Anything if you want to store, we have to assign it as variable. Okay, and we can also call it as a container for storing any data type. It is a container for storing any data type. So, some space in the memory, that is in RAM, random access memory, is allocated for the variables. Okay, as I have already told you, in C, we will give the variable memory at compile time itself. Int A means A will be allocated with certain bytes of memory, isn't it? But whereas in Python, when we are using dynamically, then its memory is given. Clear? So, how to declare a variable? Here, automatically the value will be assigned. Okay, if I specify int A, then if I specify A is equal to 5, then A variable is assigned with integer type of data. So, there is no explicit declaration required. We will assign the value, then automatically the variable will be given the data type. Clear? So, it is the naming convention will be automatic. Here, there is no use of reserved verbs. As of like here also, we are not at all using any reserved words. Clear, students? Then, it should not start with a numeric digit. So, we shouldn't start with a numeric digit. we will it may contain hash symbol. We can use hash symbol. Clear? Then it may contain lowercase letters, uppercase letters and underscore. We can start with underscore. Okay? It should start with an alphabet followed by any alphanumeric characters. Is that clear? Use a meaningful names, use a short names, which is used for memory. Is that clear, students? In all the rules which are used in C, that will be followed here. There is nothing much to remember. Okay? Then let us see this example. Okay? You can change the contents of variable in later statement. So as of now, here x is given as 12.2. Now x is a float type of data, isn't it? Then y is given as 14. Now y is as a integer type of data. In the third statement, if we have given x is equal to 100, the 12.2 memory is deleted and 100 is assigned to the x. So it is dynamic. Each and every statement will change the contents of variable in each and every statement. See here, x, first it assigned to 12.2, later it assigned to 100. So that is the dynamic allocation of variable in Python. Is that clear, students? Then we can also assign multiple assignments. How? Python allows you to assign a single value to several variables simultaneously. So here a equal to b equal to c equal to 1. At a time you are assigning 1 to 3 variables, that is a, b, c. Clear here? Then you can also assign objects to multiple variables. Here you are assigning 2 variables and one is a string. A equal to b equal to c, that is equal to 1 comma 2 comma John. A comma b comma c is equal to 1 comma 2 comma John. Is that clear? So we can also assign like this. So next. So that's all with the variables. How you declare a variable, how you assign, and how the multi-variables will be assigned. Then talking about performing calculations. As of now, you all know that all the calculation part is nothing but using mathematical operations. Is it nothing but? So we are having mathematical operators which are tool for calculation. Next, operands and operators. Operands means your variables. Operators with plus, minus, all those things will be operators. Okay. So here in Python, slash, that is the operator which performs floating point division. If we have two types of divisions here. One is slash operator which performs floating point division. And we have another operator, that is double slash, which performs integer division. When we use single slash, we get the value of output in floating point. Whereas if you use double slash, we will get integer type of values. So positive results are truncated and negative results will be rounded away from 0. Is that clear, students? So in this way, the two types of divisions will perform. We will see so many examples in our next lecture to this variable, how to assign a variable, how the division works, how the calculations will be performed. All those things will be seen in the next class. Students, let us have a quick recap of what we have discussed today. Today we have discussed the program development life cycle, the general program development life cycle. Then we have seen a traditional development life cycle, isn't it? Then we have seen how Python development life cycle will work. Okay. Then what we have discussed, students, we have seen comments, how to declare variables, how to use input, how to take the how input function works, how the print statement works, how input is taken, how the processing will be done, how output has been taken. And we have seen some calculations. To perform calculations, majorly we are using a division symbol, that is a slash, which is used for floating point division, whereas double slash is used for integer type of division. Okay, students. So that's all for today. So we will see so many examples regarding this in our next lecture. Thank you.